Hi everyone, I'm John Dahlia here again for another TeamTMC update. A very special update today because we have our Chief Technology Officer, Dan Marner. And Dan, we have some big things happening in June, as you know, and we've been talking about this quite a bit. What's going to be happening next month? And maybe you can talk a little bit about this big transition that we're going to have.
Sure. We have, after a long time of using the Google Apps Suite or Google Workspace, they keep changing its name, we are migrating from that to Microsoft's offering, Microsoft 365.
That's a big move. And talk about what this will entail. How will it affect the folks with TMC and the people who work with now with Google?
So our TMCtechnologies.com email addresses, instead of going into Gmail, will go into Microsoft's Outlook.
Okay.
Hosted by Microsoft, available through either the desktop version of Outlook or the web version of Outlook, which a lot of our folks already use for their customers.
And so it really won't affect people. The transition is going to be kind of like something that just happens. Is that correct?
A little bit of a learning curve. You know, Outlook's a little bit different than Gmail. Outlook Calendar is a little bit different than Google Calendar. And of course, if you are a heavy user of Google Docs or Google Sheets, that's their word processor or spreadsheet, moving to Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, which is available in the online versions, might be a little bit of an adjustment, but
that's a big deal. That's you called it the big three before. So we're going to now have access to the online version of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Publisher, and pretty much the whole suite of 365. No,
Publisher's not available.
Okay.
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. I keep forgetting.
Completes the big three.
But that's amazing. So one last thing. This will happen sometime toward the end of June, you think?
Towards the end of the June.
Okay.
I can't give an exact date because it's going to take some time to migrate the email. That's the good news. When you log on, all your old email will be waiting for you. I don't know how fast that process is. I'm going to migrate a couple test victims. And
probably me.
And see how long that takes. And based on that, I'll know, can I do this overnight? So people log into Gmail, and the next day they just log into Microsoft instead, or was it going to take a weekend, in which case I'll do it on a Friday, and then we'll log in on Monday. The big news is there will be no lost email. We're doing some trickery with our DNS, domain name service.
That's great.
So that no email will be lost in the process. It'll queue up in Gmail, and then it'll cut over and start queuing up in Outlook.
And that's a big deal. So if anyone has questions, can they email you, or how do you want to go about that? I mean, we didn't really talk about that in the prep for this interview, but I could have people email me, or I don't know if we want to create an email address for our internal audience. I'm not sure.
Sure, no, absolutely. Drop me an email.
Okay. And we'll put Dan.Marner at TMCtechnologies.com. We'll put that up on the screen, of course. And that's about it. But it's good news, right? I mean, this is a big deal because now we'll have access to this Microsoft suite of technologies, but also Microsoft Teams, which is really popular and used throughout business and throughout government contracting, so it's a good thing.
Teams is one of our big motivators for doing this. Right now we use GoToMeeting when we're scheduling meetings, and it's just a hassle to set up. Once we move to Microsoft Teams, anybody will be able to set up a teleconference or video conference or save chat messages with coworkers very easily. And it'll integrate with the calendar, so you can set up the appointment. It's all very nicely integrated.
And then one last thing, there'll probably be some tutorials that we'll push out to folks, I'm guessing, right? Somehow. Okay, great.
I'm working with the rep at Microsoft, and he assures me, I haven't seen him yet, but he assures me that there are lots of good materials that we can make available.
Yes. And then we'll have further updates to kind of go along. When the weekend comes, you'll of course be told in advance, so don't panic. And if you have any questions, send Dan an email, and I'll put his email address up. And I guess, Dan, thank you. This is a big deal.
Well, yes. Here's what we do need.
More information.
Once we will get the account set up before the email is moving there. So we encourage everyone, and we'll get your login information, to log in and make sure you don't have any issues, and that you can log in. And then the email will come sometime after that.
Okay.
Additionally, the one thing we can't migrate for you, my understanding, again, I'm still working with Microsoft on this, if you're using your Google Drive account, your TMC Google Drive account, we can't move those files for you. So we'll be coming out with instructions on how you can do that. And if you need a temporary hard drive or some help with that, we'll
Right.
provide the help. But
Right.
you'll need to move that. Everything else, your calendars, your email, your contacts, should all migrate over.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
filters. If you have filters in Gmail, to send some of your spam to different folders, you may need to set those up again in Microsoft
Right.
Outlook because those aren't portable.
So-
So we can provide assistance on that.
And it's going to be a work in progress, so don't panic. We're going to make sure you know what's going on. Dan, thanks so much. We'll have another update probably in the next few weeks as we get closer and closer. It's big news for everyone here at TMC, and we're excited. And, of course, Microsoft Teams is fantastic, and we're happy to do this. So for Dan Marner, I'm John Dahlia, another Team TMC update. We're happy that this is happening, and please stay tuned, and we will be in touch soon.